Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Weihrauch, and in today's episode, we're asking the question, should the bathroom be free? This is prompted by what's been in the news lately about Starbucks, which is changing its company policy. It's issuing a new code of conduct. It has been since 2018 that the bathroom in Starbucks was for everyone. Whether you were a coffee drinker or not, whether you were a customer or not, you could pop into Starbucks and use the bathroom. This particularly was relevant in urban areas where public restrooms are hard to come by and often made Starbucks kind of a gathering place for people in need of public restrooms. It's something the company has recognized has been bad for business. That's for a couple of reasons. One is because overwhelmingly, Starbucks' paying customers did not want to be in the same space as those who might have come there just for the bathroom. People who are homeless or dealing with mental health issues or substance abuse. Increasingly, they were encroaching on customers' territory. It's also true that Starbucks realized that their old model of creating a third space, a gathering place for the community, no longer fit American culture. Increasingly, Starbucks was realizing that 70% of its business is online, either people doing online orders or in-store pickups. No one actually goes into Starbucks anymore, let alone hangs out there. In fact, this policy has resonated with customers because the minute Starbucks announced this, their stock went up 6%. Shareholders were saying, finally, you're not trying to be an agora. You're just trying to be a business that sells us coffee, that we come and get it and then get out of there. People are saying overwhelmingly, Starbucks, we don't want you to provide us community. We don't think you're in the business of hospitality. Just make and sell us coffee. And this is interesting to me because in some ways, Starbucks was trying to do some things that the Bible calls us to do, to be hospitable. And the New Testament definition, according to Romans 12, of hospitality is to turn strangers into brothers. Starbucks was seeking to create a gathering place. Also, the Bible says a lot about caring for the poor and the marginalized. So Starbucks was reflecting that, at least they thought, in their idea that the bathroom was for everybody. But here's the thing. Corporations are weak facsimiles of the local church. At its core, Starbucks exists to make a profit, to deliver a service, to give customers what they want. That identity was never going to fully square with the biblical ideas of hospitality or caring for the poor. Customers want Starbucks to give them coffee and get out of their way. The Bible's call for hospitality, the Bible's call for caring for the poor and the marginalized is a call for the church. And when I read this story, I thought, this is probably good for Starbucks. It's going to make their customer experience a lot better. But it's also indicative of the fact that Starbucks shouldn't have had to do this. Christians should be the ones saying, hey, how do we solve the issues of homelessness? How do we find public spaces that are accessible and attractive and safe? Churches should be third spaces where people can gather. Listen, I know that introduces a whole host of questions that I don't have the answers to. But again, one of the things I'm always pushing on this podcast is that Christians rediscover the meaning and purpose and adventure of the Christian life. What companies like Starbucks are trying to do is what many of us should be giving our lives towards, finding the ways to do what Jesus was talking about in Matthew when he talked about, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me, and so on and so forth. That is the work of the church. That is the work of Christians. It's not the work of corporations. But let's acknowledge we're creating a vacuum that different entities are trying and failing at filling. And let's start asking God, how can your church in urban, rural, suburban environments become gathering places, become places where the poor and the marginalized are cared for and served and loved? Let's let companies be companies. Let's let the church be the church. Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode of Wake Up, Look Up. While you're here, take a minute to like and subscribe. It really helps us get the word out. Don't hesitate to leave a review wherever you might find this podcast on an audio level and help spread the word. And hey, while you're here, check out all the other content we have at Christ Community Chapel on YouTube. Some of those videos are popping up on the screen now. Click on one.